From Significant, this is Crack It in an Hour.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Crack It in an Hour. I'm Simon.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Roman.
And if you know us, you know it is one problem to crack, 1 hour to crack it once a week. And two of us know nothing about the problem, and one has the problem that they brought. And this week it's me.
You have the problem.
Start the clock. So I'm going to tell you guys some details, some interesting facts. Here we go. I don't know if any of this is going to come as a shock to you, but it's interesting. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, about 1 in 2 U.S. adults report experiencing loneliness, right? A January 2024
poll the loneliness epidemic
by the American Psychiatric Association found 30% of American adults say they felt lonely once a week or more over the past year. I could go on and on and on and on, but you get the idea. Loneliness is way on the way up. However, there's an interesting correlation with that too. Alcohol consumption is declining sharply among Gen Z and millennials. At the same time, loneliness levels are at all-time highs across the US, UK, Japan, and Europe. Historically, drinking rituals acted as the default way adults gathered, and there's a lot of evidence around this. There's a study in Japan called the U-shaped loneliness curve. And the U-shaped loneliness curve found that the people with the lowest loneliness scores were moderate drinkers. People who either were alcoholics or didn't drink at all suffered from more loneliness. In the UK, 67% of people say pubs help reduce loneliness. And there is more and more evidence I could keep bringing up to the fact that drinking culture is a very good thing in people's lives. So today's problem to crack is, how do we bring back drinking culture?
I'm not going to lie. When you said pubs, I forget the word you used. Pubs are good for connecting people. I thought you said pugs.
Oh, pugs?
And I was
the
like,
dogs?
That took a weird
I didn't think I was going there.
So wait.
Drinking is good.
But what's amazing is I would have thought that loneliness leads to drinking.
So this is an interesting fact, is post-pandemic, there's two things that are very interesting. One is drinking as a whole is down, but drinking alone is up. So that's why I wanted to kind of say we got to bring back drinking culture, because it's not person plus alcohol. It's people plus alcohol in situation.
Yeah. So one is an alcoholic, two is a party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So social drinking we're talking
social drinking and the culture of drinking.
How would you define the culture of drinking?
It's tough. I thought about this too, because when I think of drinking culture, I think of drinking in service of socialization is the best way I could kind of like encapsulate it, because that covers everything from going to a bar to going to a football game to drinking with a neighbor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what, like, I mean, I know what I think, but I think it's interesting to sort of unpack it. Like, what about that culture? That's the social aspect, but what about it, or what happens in that moment that is the antidote to loneliness?
I think it helps people connect.
Because it lowers
It lowers inhibitions, it lowers barriers. It allows you to have a little less guarded, a little more willingness to meet new people and talk more. And it causes just basically people to open up. In going back to the UK, because it's a huge drinking culture and there was a lot of research around there. There was a lot of people call it the living room of the village. And I was like, that's kind of lovely, right? Like, it's like literally where it's like everyone's meeting, everyone's talking, everyone's getting to know each other and that sort of thing. Now, that's a specific type of drinking culture. You know, in Japan, izakayas are a huge thing and a big part of kind of like after work hours, ways to connect and loosen up. Speaking of after hours, part of the problem with drinking culture is that now that remote work is more of a thing. Drinking culture has gone down because that used to be a way to connect and socialize with coworkers.
Yeah, like stop at the bar
social
on the way
drinking,
home.
right?
Social drinking
culture could be
exactly. Yeah.
Getting shit faced alone at home, right? Like,
well, no, I think I take it to mean, I mean, I guess I'm interpreting the culture
good
to
t-shirt,
mean like
good t-shirt, Simon. Good t-shirt game today. Yeah.
Are you ready to party?
I'm ready to talk about party.
Drinking culture. And we don't even have a drink in hand. What is this
I know.
episode?
I know. I should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. Like, I'm a little upset that you're not pulling like a bottle of Jack.
I
out
should
of the
have.
pouch.
I should have gone all
All
in.
right, motherfuckers.
I should have acted the part.
Pouring shots.
Yeah.
This could have gotten wild.
How do we bring back drinking culture?
For the good of humanity.
For the good of humanity.
Sure.
So can I give you some current
should
barriers?
Yeah, go ahead.
So a few current barriers right now is health and wellness identity. It's a big part of people's lives. People think it's who they are and they're defined by it. It's, I think we get asked about that quite a bit,
or
frankly.
health and wellness, not
health
identity,
and wellness. Yeah, exactly. Socializing has become very digital forward. It's become a lot more digital first rather than in person.
Wait, can I contradict the first point?
Sure.
Based on just my own assumptions and beliefs and not any data that I have in front of me. I think that that's a false correlation.
Okay.
Because indulgence is not down. Like, people are doing more psychedelic drugs. People are consuming all kinds of like candy. We've talked about like the candy industry is booming. Like, so I think it's really easy to make this correlation to the idea that like, oh, because people are so obsessed with their health and wellness, they're drinking less. No, people have traded drinking for other things, but it's not like people are only choosing healthy over drinking. Yeah. And I think it's a misperception. I think it's like drinking.
But do you think,
I think drinking.
Do you think vices have gotten healthier? Like a vice of eating candy is not as bad as a vice of drinking.
I mean, it depends who you ask. Like, I mean, I think, I think interestingly, like, I think whoever's marketing psychedelics is doing a brilliant job because
100%.
they've marketed it as a form of self-care.
They make it look, like, exactly.
Yeah, it's like, it's therapy.
I totally
explore
agree.
your emotions and like find the depths of your soul. And that's a good idea.
Could you ever market drinking culture as self-care?
I think there's too many physical, I mean, I would say yes on a surface level. I think it's hard because there's too many negative physical side effects. To drinking,
there's too many scientific proofs now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, we don't have all the proof yet behind psychedelics and all forms of other drugs. So that's why I don't know if the vices have gone healthier, because when you look at the like Gen Z is getting fucked up on things that we didn't even touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, there's some like weird man-made shit people are like putting in their bodies.
So they just don't know about the truths behind them.
I mean, the big bad things people know. But the psychedelics, the MDMA, like now people are like starting to get a good rap. Probably. Maybe because we don't know everything yet.
And do you think it's a little bit too like it's intentionally the rebellion of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like acid in the 60s was like expand your mind. And then in the 70s, everyone's like, oh, there's a bunch of acid casualties and that's actually really bad for you. You know what I mean?
It's also making a comeback.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
But I just think it's too convenient to blame health and wellness. And I've heard it in other categories as well. And I think that like, I think going to bars has gotten worse, and that might be a generational point of view, but it's like
the experience of going to a bar has gotten worse.
Yeah. And I think that like, people are like, oh, drinking is down because people care about their wellness. I'm like, have we looked across every part of the experience here to see if there's something else to blame or if there are more contributing factors to like why drinking is down? Like, first of all, other experimental vices. I think compared to some of the other things that you can do, drinking is where you can actually embarrass yourself the most.
That's actually a big thing now.
That like, because everybody's lives are on the internet.
Getting filmed drunk.
Yeah. So people are just more protecting themselves. I think bar culture sucks now.
Say more about that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's totally, I admit it's both generational and geographic. Like, I think that my perspective in the age of sort of performative social media, bars have become a place that are like aesthetic over substance. Even if it's a dive bar, it's like pretending to be a dive bar versus like
a faux dive bar.
Yeah, it's like this is the aesthetic of it. I'm not saying there's not good bars out there, but I think it's just so
contrived.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel that way. I mean, again, maybe it's aging, maybe it's geographic, because when I lived in Chicago, I way preferred the bar scene in Chicago to Los Angeles, just because everything here feels...
It's a better bar scene.
It's also, yeah, exactly. It's also geography.
That's what I said, yeah, geography.
So that's an interesting thing. So, because this is a thing you could tackle a million different ways. You could tackle it through perception. You could tackle it through experience. You could tackle it through product, whatever it is. But the one you're talking about is experiences. Fundamentally, how do you... Like this, we could do an hour on how do you improve the bar experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you have to make, let's say we want to make the social drinking in LA specifically a thing. I think you have to bring London weather to LA.
Oh, you think it's weather related?
That's so true.
And then put pubs like the pub culture is honestly,
it's so true.
It's the best. And you say what you want. Yeah, of course, like we're not talking about like the negative health side effects. It's not the point of this conversation. But the pub culture, the way people just get out of work and go straight to have a beer with their coworkers or their friends is the best. Yeah. Like at socializing. There is absolutely, I don't have the data, but I am 99% sure there's a correlation between weather and drinking.
It's so true.
Oh, there is.
Nothing
like
better
Scandinavians
than going to a Chicago
drink like
bar.
crazy.
Exactly.
Canadians drink like crazy.
Yeah.
So the darker
Midwest.
and the colder,
totally,
and the rainier it is,
that sounds good.
the more drinking there is going to be. Right. So I also think that's why LA is a very different culture.
That's true.
But we're talking like this is something you totally agree. And it's interesting to kind of speak to geography because I think there's solutions where we could help bring back drinking culture in those colder, darker places if we thought that was all right, let's start there. Let's go for the lowest hanging fruit. You know what I mean? Cold, dark places. Let's pretend we found out that drinking's down X% in London. We thought that the bar culture could use a boost. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you're right in the fact that it's like, there's like, listen, if we want to become, if it's like, how do we up the drinking culture in Utah? It's like, oof, that's a tough one to tackle. Yeah. But like we could go after other places where it could be potentially easier.
I think for the second time in a couple weeks, I'm going to blame therapy culture for this problem. So actually,
keep talking. Say more. I'm thinking.
It's not as it's okay. So Biz and I actually had a really lengthy conversation about this the other day, about how everybody complains about how lonely they are, except over the last decade, the entire like cultural mood was shifting from like FOMO, fear of missing out, to JOMO, the joy of missing out.
Yeah. Right.
And everybody was so empowered by this idea of like, protect your time is precious, cancel those plans, like joy of missing out, stay home, self-care, take a bath. And everyone was like, yeah, I'm going to like protect me and my time. And then everyone's like, why? Wow, I'm lonely. I'm like, well,
this is what happens.
You made your bed.
Well, do you think it's also been like, I think, do you also think it's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Stay home, watch Netflix. Like, okay, well, what did you think was going to happen?
Do you think culture has moved away from the collective more towards the individual?
I think that I think America has always been a more individualistic society than collective, but
totally. But do you think even more so over the last decade or so, or no?
I mean, yeah, I think we've talked about this before, like we've lost a sense of curiosity about other people. Like even back to like on the list of things I was just rattling off, one of those things was like the idea of cutting people out of your life that don't agree with you on everything.
Yeah, that's like, insane.
Like we're just so like when you say if we become more individualistic, I would say we've become way more insular. Like maybe it's not necessarily individual versus collective, but we're sort of like, I don't really want to meet new people. I definitely don't want to meet anybody that disagrees with me. I don't want to I want to be inner, and it's a form of self-protection, right? I mean, we live in a very fucking crazy world. So people are like self-preserving by limiting their exposure to the outside world, which I understand, but I think it makes it hard to like you lose the plot on connection, friendship, experience, drinking culture for good.
So let me ask you this. Do you think a drinking culture thrives when times are good?
That's an interesting question because I think it's easy to say yes, but actually I think bad times bring people together.
Yeah.
Or historically they have.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
But it's interesting because saying it out loud, I'm like, I don't know that that's happening now.
I don't know that there's a correlation.
No.
Between good and bad times. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I think COVID, obviously we couldn't go to bars.
Yeah.
But anywhere you could in the world where you are legally allowed to, or just where you could bend the rules, people would get together to do what? Drink more than they used to.
Totally.
Right? It was pretty bad times, right? It was pretty tough times. The good times also call for celebration, and drinking is associated with celebration in culture, right? So I don't know that there's a clear...
No, but I think you just cracked it.
Cool.
I think we have to bring back prohibition, and then people are going to want, if you take away the accessibility and the ease of being able to do it, everyone's going to bond together, because that's what COVID was.
Well,
it was like mini prohibition.
It was mini prohibition. Yes.
Well, you're right. Everybody did drink way more would go out of their way to like drive across the city to hang out in somebody's yard and social distance drink.
Exactly.
Like, effort.
Show
We're
up with
talking
their
like
own glasses and their own beers.
Insane amounts of effort. Yeah. Prohibition. Cracked it.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Bring back prohibition. That's a good one.
There's a place to start for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at the youth in some of the countries where you're legally not allowed to drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go out of their way to do it.
Yeah.
They find the underground clubs. They found you see what I mean? Like all the underground stuff, and it still happens.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if that's part of it is like
they
drinking
make their own booze.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They make their own booze.
But it's interesting. Like, drinking almost isn't cool anymore. And I know that it's a weird thing to say, but since we're talking about, hey, drinking has some upside, which is hanging out with people. So let's bring social drinking back. I'm a little bit like, I think it lost its coolness in youth culture because like it's just everywhere.
But here's my prediction. It's going to make a big comeback.
Oh yeah. I can't wait.
Like everything else. Like I think that the explosion of the dive bar is the first sign of it, but the explosion of the dive bar is with like the in-between generation. But the younger generation, the ones who are going analog and who are like where social media consumption is slowly going down and the dating apps are going down and all of that generation, that is going to lead to human interactions, and it's going to lead to,
just
if you want to be a little looser in your interaction, you're going to have a couple of drinks.
Loosen
up, buddy. So I think it's going to make a comeback. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, you were making me think about like, there are moments in time when people do seem to rally around social drinking again, like the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like,
sporting events.
It usually is a sporting event, but like all of a sudden it's like even people that don't typically go to bars or typically watch sports are sort of like rallied around something. Yeah. And I don't like it. I was thinking about it when you said, do good times, is there a correlation between drinking in good times or drinking in bad times? And I'm not sure that there is, but I do think you see these spikes in moments where togetherness, where there's something for people to rally around versus the drinking itself. And I wonder if that's part of the solution, is like finding some center of gravity, something for people to rally around.
Well,
Can I shift things a little bit?
Yeah.
When you were at your, let's call it like at your most involved in drinking culture,
my party peak.
Yeah. What were the rituals to that time? Because I can tell you mine. Like, and it's like, and there are certain things about it. Like I had a local that I'd always go to, and there was like always like people I knew who were going to be there, but then there'd always be like some new people. So there was kind of always an environment of like, I'm going to have a certain level of comfort, but then there's going to be a certain level of new people coming in that are going to be interesting and willing to talk. And it was kind of known as a very social bar. So my mindset going in was like, yeah, I'm going to meet some people tonight. You know what I mean? And it's probably going to be thanks to having a few drinks with some people. You know what I mean? And I'm just curious to hear about like what yours were kind of when you were like in Chicago at dive bars. What was your relationship to those dive bars?
Well, you started the question with ritual, like around like peak social drinking ritual. I feel like I actually think it starts before the bar, and this is very subjective.
I totally think it does too.
My friends and I often talk about, actually my best friend Nina, we talk all the time about how even in adulthood, one of the most fun things in the world is getting ready with your friends.
The pre-drink.
And like, pregame.
Yeah.
Like she and I still will stand side by side in some tiny little bathroom together, getting ready.
Totally.
Oh, sharing makeup, whatever it is. Like, it's so fun. It's to me, the party starts there, but that's already inherently social. Like you're sort of, but I think having a wing friend, it's critical in those. Like, I mean,
that's interesting.
I mean, I'm always down to meet people alone, but like, you know, I feel like it's more to your point about like the comfort,
the group.
The group.
Yeah.
I like when two groups merge.
Yeah, totally.
You know, I don't know. I've lost the plot, but
no. That's everything you're saying there. I totally like Christy, my wife. She has a friend who her favorite part of the night is getting ready with a friend. Yes,
the most fun.
She gets ready and then she goes home.
Then she like basically goes out, is disappointed and goes home.
Yeah. Sometimes you pregame a little too hard and make it out.
7:30 p.m. Every party, she's at home.
She's just like, that wasn't worth it. Yeah.
I think, I wonder if we should just talk about, and again, my brain struggles a little bit because I think we have to ignore all the health components associated to drinking. So I'm pushing myself to do that. I know you guys, it's easier, but I'm like, wait, how can we do that? Anyway, I'm going to try and ignore it. But
haven't thought about it once.
Let's I think we need to talk about like the role of it, because the social component, I think it's too easy. And every single now drinking brand has been trying to tap it for the last 20 years and it's not changing anything.
Yeah.
So what's the role of drinking? What can it do to you? What's the role of it? What's the brand of drinking? It can, we can make drinking cool again. Like Marlboro Man, whenever that was.
Yeah.
We could make drinking the thing that makes you make good decisions.
Yep.
The opposite of what people think.
Yep.
Right.
I love that.
Totally agree with that.
And probably other things. And it might be worth like unpacking the different paths of the brand of drinking before we then.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Life starts.
Yeah, totally. Like,
I talk about the good decisions thing, because I know you.
I could point to like the number. I had a thing when I was, first of all, like I would have never met my wife had I not been drinking. You know what I mean? Like that's what gives you the courage to talk to people that you really want to talk to. I had a thing when I was in my 20s that, like, no exaggeration, if I wanted to be friends with someone, I'd just want to go for a drink. And if like it was a new person at work or something like that, and we went out after work and had a few drinks, I was like, we'll be friends now. You'd become bonded after just a great night hanging out with a few drinks. So like, and then on top of that too, like, I don't know if I could point to like, I've made great, like, I don't know if I've ever been like, while drinking, made a decision in that moment that I didn't later like think about sober. You know what I mean? But I think it sparked interesting decisions for sure. I don't know if I could say like,
a lot of businesses are started over drinks.
I totally think businesses are. I think business ideas. I think business is closed and made.
Yeah.
over alcohol. I think like all of us know people who like when you get into international business too, there's certain cultures where like that's part and parcel of it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know rite of passage, yep.
You know what I mean? So like, and I'm not saying that one specifically is a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like there's a lot of things in drinking that are pretty good.
So yeah. But like, so this is about good decisions, right? It leads to friendship.
I
think that's interesting.
Leads to love, leads to making choices and making or thinking of doing things you might have never considered doing before.
Taking leaps,
meeting people you would have never talked to, opening yourself up to, again, I want to be clear, like you're not going to meet many people being like a bumbling drunk, but if you've had a few drinks, I think you are more open to meeting different kinds of people, to your point of kind of being guarded and trying to be protectionist of your own beliefs.
And then what you said about other cultures, when you do business, there's certain cultures like, if you want to close a real deal, you got to get shit-faced. And that to me is just about, I hate to use that term, but I don't have any other one. It's just about like being vulnerable.
Yes, 100%.
You need to show that you're ready to be vulnerable.
And like, who are you really?
Who are you really?
Yeah.
When you don't control yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's not the couple of drinks, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of drinks.
You're getting like shit-faced and pass out on the couch. But yeah, that's a different type of path almost. Is like, which is I think it's too big of a bridge now to go with like the challenge you mentioned about social media, people being afraid of being captured on camera when they're like, blackout. But there's something about vulnerability.
And this,
totally,
like, just to emphasize that point, because you see it all the time about Gen Z specifically not drinking.
Yeah.
But I think, I think it gets attributed to so many reasons, like, they're more health conscious, they're more aware. But I think one of the biggest factors, because I remember reading about this like a decade ago, where Gen Z was like, you know what's the dumbest thing I've ever seen is how all of you millennials would post photo albums on Facebook of like nights out. Like, that is the dumbest decision you could have ever made. And I'm like, yeah, that was pretty dumb. Like, what were we thinking? And they just don't want like you can get fired from a job now for that. You could it could come back to bite you 10 years later. Maybe you suddenly get famous and you didn't know you were going to get famous, and then you get canceled. Like it's like, it's so risky to have that level of vulnerability now, that I think Gen Z just saw all the mistakes that millennials made around drinking and like sharing.
I got two answers for that. One is scrub your Facebook. I've done it numerous times. Very easy to do. Number two is hang out with people who won't take pictures of you when you're wasted.
Yeah, but it's
jerks.
not even the people around you. It's anyone. If some stranger posts a photo, like everything you see on the internet now is like strangers exposing other strangers.
Oh, that's just the worst.
It is, but I think it's a huge factor in why people are choosing other vices.
Well, this is something interesting to talk about too, which is like, in the best of circumstances, drinking's meant to be very fun.
Yeah.
And if you're worried about all of that, it's just not going to be fun.
It's not fun.
You know what I mean?
It's almost a bit of an impossible, unless like part of the solution is like no phones bars.
Totally.
Which would be super cool, which to your point, Roman, about the analog. The analog folks, I think, are going to drive not only a comeback of some of the just in-person hanging.
Do they exist? No phones bar yet? Because if they don't, like, it needs to happen.
No phone spaces is so smart.
Not that I know of. I'm sure it does. Or I know that there are certainly bars where like you have that thing that you can put your phone on the
no phones private clubs.
Yeah, but I've never walked into a bar that was literally a no phone like dive bar.
This needs to happen like
that's
today. It's literally like coffee shop saying no
laptops. Exactly.
It needs to happen like today, and it's going to have an impact immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, it would totally. A no phones bar is a great idea. Yeah. I think we just cracked it.
And prohibition. It's a no phones bar, but when you walk in, there's no alcohol because it's illegal.
It's just a real confusing place.
And it's really rainy outside and cold.
Yeah. I think it would be easier to manipulate the weather than to bring back prohibition.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, Hollywood can make it rain.
Yeah.
Where was your head at when you asked me that question about kind of good decisions?
It's like trying to explore different types of brands of drinking.
Yeah.
So it's like make good decisions, drink more. Right?
Yeah.
Be vulnerable, drink more. I don't think it's a good one because of social. What else do we have? There was another one that I mentioned before the good decisions, but I can't remember.
There's business. You mentioned closing deals.
That's a good one.
Get better at
close
business.
Close deals, drink more.
Yeah, drink more, close deals.
Drink more, close deals.
Drink more, get rich.
But I don't know. I have no formed thought in my head about what I'm about to say, but the drinker cultures are so different from a market to another, from an actual culture to another. It's really interesting.
I know.
And weather plays a thing. Obviously, history plays a thing. Like the role of common food places like restaurants and taverns and things like that back in the day plays a big role. Like the UK, Latin countries, the drinking
Italy,
culture is very
Russia,
different.
Japan. Like
it's all very different.
Totally.
Even from like the UK to France and France to Italy, the culture is different.
Yeah.
And France is literally a mix of the Romans and the Celts.
Right.
Right. And so, but the differences are like very visible. Like, I don't think there's a better drinking culture than the British.
Right.
It's very personal, but I think pub culture is fantastic. The French are very, oh no, we're not here to drink. We're just here to have a good time. You know, we just want to have a good time. We're not admitting that we are here to get shit faced, but we actually are. You know, it's like very
so
really,
yeah, like very we're going to the bar. We have a glass of wine,
and then it's like
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, not when you're in your 20s, but like as you know, I think. And the Americans, like, frankly, are really in your fucking face about it. Like, nowhere else in the world do you get on a plane and someone orders like a double Jack and Coke on a flight at 7 a.m. Nowhere else.
Oh my God, yeah.
Nowhere else. Yeah. Like, it's the only place it happens. And it happens every time I'm on a plane.
Yeah.
Every
in the morning.
time.
Even if it's Monday morning and people are here for business. It's like, double Jack and Coke. I'm like... Whoa,
7
wait, my
a.m.
caffeine hasn't hit yet.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's so in your face. It's crazy. Like, people say, I'm going on a boys trip, a girls trip, and I'm not talking in your 20s, like literally in your 40s, because I'm
golf trips, all that stuff.
I'm gonna go get drunk all weekend, and they literally go
and
at
get
the
drunk
pool
all weekend
and have margarritas at 9:30 a.m.
Yeah,
and I'm like, this is.
And
cool. This is great. I'm not judging. It's so different. So different.
Everywhere is different.
That doesn't exist in Europe. People
but what do you think are
think
are the common themes of all of them? If you could think about them.
It's the social. It's
social, right?
It's the lowest hanging fruit.
It's inherently social.
It's like where every single brand has gone in the last since the beginning of marketing for alcohol is like
meet people
get together,
and party.
Meet people. Toast to
Friendship.
celebrate.
Yeah.
Like you see what I mean? It's like that's the common denominator.
I think the truth is
low hanging fruit and it doesn't work anymore.
It's not. I don't think it's that it doesn't. I don't think it's that it's low hanging fruit. I think it's the outcome, not the path to get there.
Yeah.
It and I think that's the problem. If I was going to be critical of many of like alcohol advertising, is to your point, they're just showing the outcome. I'm like, yeah. Cheersing with my friends, like congratulations, that's drinking. Like that's drinking wine, it's drinking beer, it's drinking alcohol. Like there's nothing here about that. I think that alcohol brands are refusing to acknowledge that there's work to be done to get people back to that outcome.
I have another one on that too.
And so, sorry to interrupt, but so similar to how if you want to sell a car,
exactly
you
what I was going to say.
You need to sell driving. Yeah. Now, if we're trying to sell a beer, how do we sell drinking? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yes, exactly.
What are the different paths?
And all these brands are just like, this beer is delicious. I'm like, I don't care if that beer is delicious.
I'm not interested in drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
And so That's what I'm trying to get to with like the different angles of like the good decisions, the vulnerability, the blah blah blah. What is that one best angle to get actually someone to?
Well, okay, that's interesting because with what you were saying and what you were saying, both of them to me are things that like I think alcohol, beer, spirits, whatever have failed at, which is I think they often sell a real surface level version of the best kind of outcome. Like me at a bar cheersing a stranger is like, sure. You know what I mean? But like me walking out of a bar, having a conversation with someone I never expected to, being like, man, that was completely unexpected or
weird, which is cool.
Or cool. Man, I connected with someone. Or me like tracing back a good friendship all the way to this one time we chance met in a bar and started chatting over beers, or my wife, or any of those sort of things. That's a lot more interesting when you speak to outcomes and possibility.
Okay, I have another angle for your question, Roman. I'm not saying it's a positive one, but it is, I think, a true one, which is drinking makes you interesting again.
Drinking makes you interesting.
Cool. Like it's because it's literally, if you go and have the weirdest conversation with a stranger, that might not be the best night of your life, but the stories you're going to tell your friends after, the return on investment is like 2x. You know, you're like, I'm interesting. I had an interesting experience. I now have stories to tell. I can talk about this thing that happened. It literally gives you something to talk about.
There was this campaign in Canada. I actually worked for the people who came up with it, where it was for Labatt's Blue. And the whole idea of it was a whole lot can happen out of the blue. And it was literally just about the weird shit that happens when you drink. And I was like, and it was like genius, because it was like, first of all, I can't believe you like got away with that, because it feels like one of those ones that like the beer might not even realize what they're buying, sort of thing, because they just like the line so much. But it would just show like a 20-second vignette of something completely random, and they would just say a whole lot happens out of the blue. And I'm like always like, that's the closest I've seen in beer advertising of kind of like what is possible.
I think because we're on the topic of alcohol advertising, there's another one that we've talked about before that I think is maybe a contributing problem to drinking not feeling fun anymore and why drinking culture is down, which is this really bizarre concept that somehow drinking was something you had to earn.
Oh, I know.
Like something you had to earn.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
No offense to Michelob Ultra, but like, listen, let me just say, it was a brilliant strategy for them to carve out, it's a low carb beer. Like they're going to carve out an audience for themselves that no one else, it's a good strategy. I'm talking more about the outcome after the fact and what every other brand did. But when they started going after health and wellness audience, it was like, go on a hike and then you can earn this beer.
Yeah.
Go run a 5K and you've earned this beer.
Yeah, I think it's genius.
And I said it's a really brilliant strategy, but my issue with it is then everybody else started taking productivity culture, entrepreneurship culture, grind culture, and being like, you earned this drink. And I think there's like a multiplication effect that happens over time, where something that starts as a good idea actually has an impact on the industry at large, where now everyone's like, oh, well, I have to earn this thing. And so it's not fun anymore. You don't need to earn you want a martini, have a martini. You don't need to earn it.
There's I was sorry. I was looking at the universe because I had another thought forming, but it's not fully formed. I think there's a reality about drinking for most people that it's a release moment.
Totally.
Yep.
Like whatever it triggers inside you, it's a release moment.
Yeah.
How can, like, similar to how cardio workouts are release moments, right? For most people, you're running because it like,
Yeah.
It's right. It's the exact same reason. Is there anything from running marketing that we can steal to get to drinking?
Okay, the drinker's high, first of all. Second of all, don't run, drink.
Don't run, drink.
Same outcome.
Same outcome, way less work.
Not as hard on your knees.
Might be more better
outcome. Low impact.
I have a Nike t-shirt that I just passed on to my son that I think I got it in the late 90s that says "Run for your life." And drink for your life.
Drink for your life.
Yeah.
Drink for your life. You know what?
Actually, we've all been sold a lie. Running is actually terrible for you. Bad on the knees, bad on the back.
You don't need to fight it. They can coexist.
You can do both.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of people feel really like pressured into becoming a runner these days because it's, everybody says it's good for you. And I'm like, why did I pick up running a couple years ago? I should have just doubled down on drinking.
Yeah.
Same release. You're right. Yeah.
Like
endorphins.
The release thing.
Happy. Booze.
It's just like the minute we start getting into actual marketing, it's almost impossible because you're not allowed to do anything. But
it is interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like the thing you said about Blue, when was that? A while ago.
Before I could drink, like literally, like I don't think when I saw it in my like early teens.
You wouldn't be allowed to do something like that today.
No, I don't think so.
That's the tricky part.
Guys, what's your drink of choice?
The drink is contextual.
Usually beer or whiskey.
Beer or whiskey.
Yeah. What about you?
Gin martini all day.
Yeah.
Starting at 9 a.m.
What's your like when you think of a gin martini? Like what comes to mind? Is it release? Is it happy?
Yeah. It's like, okay, I used to make fun of coffee ads for that really conventional, that like first sip feeling. But like that is actually how I feel every time I have the first sip of a gin martini.
Oh,
there's a very famous French book that's called The First Sip of Beer.
Dude, it's like it feels so good.
To your point that like I literally feel like my shoulders, I didn't know they were up by my ears, but all of a sudden I'm like,
there's something about release.
There's like a placebo effect to even just seeing it poured into a glass.
You remember we had an NA beer last week?
Yeah.
And you mentioned that. I was like, I know it's NA, but the placebo's working on
it. The placebo works.
Yeah.
I swear to God, with NA beer, there's a placebo effect to it of still just like my brain goes like, this taste leads to that thing. Give it a second, but I'll give you the endorphins in the meantime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it always does it.
Yeah.
I can't explain why, but it just does it.
Yeah.
But so I think what's interesting is that I do think we have to bring into what's possible. Because I don't think we can market it in any way because we wouldn't be allowed.
Right.
I know we can play God, but if we can play with the boundaries, then what you'd probably need to
like
think
you're saying
about
we can't say drinking is healthy.
Yeah.
Because that's just like, you can't do that.
I don't think you
drink
can say,
for your life.
Like drink more, make good decisions. I don't think you could. Right. Like, so.
Yeah. I think the closest we're at is no phones bars.
But we could say, you can say studies show, like there is proof that studies show that moderate drinkers are less lonely.
I actually don't know. That's we need to call business affairs on that one. But where I was going was exactly where you went with like the no phones bar. It's like the solution might be very grassroots.
In the process, like how do we make the process of and the experience of drinking more enjoyable?
Yeah.
I love the no phones bar thing.
No phones bar.
I think that's
how
genius.
Do you bring pop culture to America? I know it's impossible because it's like histories of it. It's not just London decided to have a good pop culture.
Well, the thing I love about the no phones bar too is that you're immediately saying this is a place to be vulnerable and it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's like you can be whatever you want here and no one is going to walk away.
Yeah.
There's no surveillance state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you either have to, like we were saying, there's almost two approaches. You either have to remove the barriers like little by little, ground up.
Yeah.
Or you have to do the car thing we talked about, or just don't sell alcohol, sell why drinking is good, but that's going to be a legal nightmare. So really the only option is
I would be so curious if we could like flip a switch like today and phones are not allowed in any bar in America to see if like the 18 to 30-year-olds would drink more or not. I would be so fascinated by that God mode ability to do a test on this marketing idea. Because it's not just that. When you read the surveys and the studies, it's not just social plays a role for sure, the fact, everything we talked about, but it's also I can find other substances that give me a release moment where I'm not going to black out.
I'm not going to be hungover.
I'm going to be the impact
health
on
concerns.
Yeah, exactly.
All that stuff.
So there's many things. That's not the only thing. That's.
Oh yeah. How do can we eradicate hangovers?
I was you were going to say that. Let's get rid of hangovers.
If we can play God, you can eradicate hangovers.
I think would have a huge
impact. If we created alcohol and eradicate, then it's like done. We could have said this in 30 seconds.
I'll go back to your health and wellness thing. I actually think it's not that like, oh, I care so much about my health and wellness, I'm refusing to drink, but I want to go out on a Friday night and then I want to be able to go on my run on Saturday. And I don't want to be like, it's funny. I mean, I wouldn't say that I still love to go out and party, but ever since I started running, I did rearrange my
100%.
partying schedule in a way that I never considered before. Like it became I had to organize because Saturdays are always my long runs. So now I don't go out on Friday nights, but I go out on Saturday nights. Or if I have a party that is on a Friday night, I switch my run day and my Pilates day. And so it's like, I'm making compromises, but not in a way where it's like health and wellness stopped me from.
That's been my life for 10 years. I couldn't agree more. It's like there's one day where I was like, I will never, ever play tennis again a day after drinking.
Yeah.
Because both physically and mentally, I just
couldn't do it.
I was losing it.
Yeah.
And now I was like, I just got to stop drinking the day before I play tennis. And it's the same with running. You go, I couldn't agree more. There's such a big correlation there.
Have you ever tried one of those recovery IVs?
Dude, I was going to go there.
I haven't actually.
Have you?
No, I haven't.
I have.
Did it work?
Yeah. It works.
Cool.
It gets rid of the physical hangover, but you still have the mental cloudiness.
Oh yeah,
the blues.
Yeah.
You still, it's not so much blue because, like, I mean, I got it. I'll just tell you, like, I got it in Nashville on the night after a Friday, so that I could go hard on the Saturday as well. You know what I mean? Like, so I wasn't in like a mode of blues yet. I was just like,
keep going.
Let's keep going. Great. Now I can. Funny. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't. It wasn't like the blue. It wasn't like a normal Sunday. I got.
And did you ever try those little like supplements?
No.
I'm getting bombarded with them because we traveled a lot last week and we bought that crazy pill thing.
Shout out Fly Kit.
It's called Fly Kit. Honestly, I thought it was a scam and it actually worked pretty well.
It did.
And now I think the algorithm bucketed me in like crazy supplements.
We'll consume weird.
Exactly. And so since then, like my Insta is like whatever it's called, Z-Biotics and all those things. Drink this and goodbye to hangover. I'm like, I think that's one's a scam. I'm not going to try that one.
I did see an article today that said I think it claimed to be proven, I can't remember, but that Sprite will literally cure a hangover.
I mean, no.
I'm willing to try it.
Like, wouldn't we all know about it by now?
Maybe some people do. When's the last time you had a Sprite?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. Probably
and
back
definitely
when you
not
didn't really get hangovers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm willing to try it.
All right, I'm going to buy a can.
But
okay, wait. I actually want to talk about Vegas for a second because I mean, I think it's true, but I only know it really as rumors, which is like Vegas is pumping like insane amounts of oxygen through the vents to help you not feel so hungover. And every time I've gone to Vegas, I'm like, I don't know how I am not as hungover as I think I should be in the morning. And I don't know. I think it's a true thing. I don't know. Maybe it's all placebo.
I have no idea.
But I think they're like pumping oxygen through some.
Also, Vegas just makes you want to keep going.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
It's designed for it.
It's totally designed for it.
And maybe that's an interesting thing in why, at least in American culture, when you are able to pull yourself out of, when you can put yourself into a bubble where like real life isn't happening.
Yeah.
which is like your point about the vacation or
Totally.
like the golf trip.
Yes.
Or Vegas is like one of those places where it's like you've just entered another planet, and for 72 hours, like all that other stuff doesn't exist. So you like transform, and suddenly the problems or the barriers don't seem like problems and barriers.
You're touching on another interesting thing too, which is the lower consumption of alcohol and, the drinking culture attached to the evolution of travel behavior, where it's been less, let's just sit and chill and get away from things, and a little more like, remember we were talking about the exotification of people trying to do more, of people trying to say they did more, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if that goes hand in hand actually into slowly killing drinking culture, where, if you get a sandals resort and you just want to hang out with a bunch of people at the bar on the pool, it's a very easy way to hang out and drink all day. You know what I mean?
Totally.
There's a lot of things connected to it the more we start talking about it, right? Like, it's not just like it's like, I think we've talked about bars, we've talked about travel, we've talked about the culture between different places and how much that's a factor of it. I do think the thing that like is interesting about it is, for probably legal reasons, frankly, we're in a place right now where the key stakeholders in alcohol consumption aren't doing a very good job selling people on why they should consume alcohol. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to your point of like it's like you've earned it is weird. The prestige of some alcohol, I find a strange play. Like, I get it. You want to sell it for a higher price and all that sort of stuff. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you're overselling something in service of something and getting rid of something else.
Do you think, okay, I have no idea. This is just a random thought, but I feel like there was like alcohol went through a craft period, right?
Yeah.
Like craft cocktails,
craft beer,
craft beer, and also craft bartending became a really big thing. But a lot of people started, I know, but bear with me. A lot of people started to get interested in it as a hobby at home, like just the way that cooking became a thing.
Making drinks
at home. And then industries like blossomed around that, where you had, I've seen kits. Like kits, exactly. Bartender kits. Really interesting, like ingredient, it's just like in cooking, like where exotic spices got interesting. People started playing with smoking, like making smoked old fashions, and you could buy all that stuff at home and do it. But I wonder if that has had, maybe it's not a big enough, maybe it's too small of an impact on the overall market. But I wonder if the sort of hobbyification around it at home made people want to go out less, because it became more of like a hobby and a craft and a thing to do, and like sip that one beautifully crafted cocktail versus like go out and have,
well, that's, I
mean, gin and tonics.
I'm pretty sure we know this as a fact, which is like, hasn't that been sort of the problem with wine culture to some degree too? Which is like, there's not much youth drinking wine because it is so caught up in its own sort of like, try this because it's the right wine to have. Tastes matter,
those are different
all those
things,
sort of things.
But yes, that's true. But I think they're different problems, I think.
As opposed to just go out and drink wine because cracking a bottle with friends is pretty awesome way to
I think what
enjoy.
I'm saying is that the hobbyification or craftification of cocktails made it so that it was less about, it was more quality over quantity.
Appreciation.
And it was about something to do at home and like experience versus like, hey, go out and have a couple drinks with your friends. Like it became a thing.
It became about the product too.
You think that would help?
That's why I have no idea. Did it help? Did it hurt? Did it have no impact at all?
I have no idea. But you'd think it would, if like people were, for people who are really not into drinking, that part would help because there's more than drinking to it. There's quality, there's craft,
there's exploration,
there's a recipe, there's exploration,
flavors.
there's a bit of creativity, there's like, there's more to just the very simple bad perception of drinking. You see what I mean? If you had a ritual to it. So you would think that would help. Like if that didn't exist,
that's interesting.
We might have gone there. We might have gone to make it more than drinking. Bring other people's passion into it. You see what I mean?
Okay, but
your
maybe
passion is
that's
craft.
it.
We're gonna make like a cocktail.
Drinking is creativity.
But
I think that could work.
I mean, drink more, be creative. That's one.
But
drink
that's
more, be creative
that's
sure.
It's an interesting one to me. I'm not going to lie, because you could play with the duality of it in terms of both. For people who actually are interested in the craft and the everything we just talked about, the ingredients, the making, that it's a creative hobby, and then the flip side, which is just like drink and creativity, will flow.
Just make sure you're drinking and crafting with other people. Don't just do it by yourself.
Guys, I think it was a huge miss on our part that we didn't get a few drinks on this episode. Just to see if we got more creative.
To see if we get more creative with our solutions.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I wish I had a drink.
But we've talked about the places that people drink. I think the problem right now with what people are being sold on as what a good alcoholic experience is really suffering right now too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You guys started touching on, like, you say craft, and you're like, oh, I hate all of this.
I hate craft I hate craft bars to some degree.
Too fancy bars,
that's
right?
exaggerating, but you get the idea.
I think that one thing that's that people in that culture know it really well. People outside of it probably don't know it as well.
Yeah.
It's like the last 15 or 20 years of the craft beer culture in America is exceptional.
Yeah.
And America outside of America is still perceived as a light beer culture.
Yeah, totally.
Right. And when you first move here, you're like, wait, what? I'm at a random supermarket. What's that selection?
Yeah.
Like you're lost. There's so much. It's so rich in selection.
Totally.
And there's something to that, even for people who don't drink. Like this is showing that drinking is not just about drinking.
Right.
Drinking is about a taste. It's like coffee.
It's about opinions.
It's like
about conversation around that stuff.
Yeah. And also the product itself is more than sometimes it's perception.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree.
Go. I love a good giggle before a statement.
No, this doesn't solve Simon's problem at all. But now I think that if we just want to get people drinking more again, then we should make alcohol a point of national pride.
Well, it is.
I think it is for certain markets.
For certain market, but I mean the booze itself.
Like vodka in Russia.
Yeah, exactly.
Like wine in France.
But like start some like
Scotch
some like global
competition.
That's a much better word than the word I was about to use.
So but there are like global beer competitions, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's too like in its niche. And I mean, like, if you're like, hey, like,
make the world,
hey, America, like, did you know that everybody thinks you have shit beer? And then America's like, excuse me?
Make it a World Cup where people actually participate.
Show up
and then make it a point of pride.
Show up and exactly.
Yeah,
and
national pride.
Yeah, passion and pride and support and chants and camaraderie.
Underdog
so it's like
stories.
Support your country by going to bars and drinking?
Yeah.
Just like organize the World Cup of drinking similar to the FIFA World Cup.
Exactly.
So, and then
the World Cup of drinking is pretty
The Russian
good.
team shows up and their strategy is all about vodka. And the Germans show up with a full beer garden geared up. And the French show up with like a beautiful chateau.
Like, we're going to put cultures against each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And make it a point of national pride.
National pride.
So it's like, all right.
We are gamifying
the
drinking.
U.S. pavilion versus the Brazilian pavilion. Go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we didn't go to, and we're almost at time. We didn't go to Jesse's favorite strategy, but we went to Simon's favorite strategy.
Yeah.
Like the gamification.
Gamification of drinking.
Yeah.
10
Are we at
points
time?
to
Should I do a
America.
bit of a recap?
I think you can start wrapping up. Yeah.
My God, we covered a lot on this one. I mean, I think to start, the idea was how could we bring back, to be clear, drinking culture? We went a little bit all over the place with drinking as a whole, and I think that's good to do. And with that said, we talked, first of all, I think mostly about the experience itself not being as good as it could, right?
Yeah.
Bars have kind of not been as much fun. And then we started talking about the geography of bars and how important that is. I mean, pub culture in England versus pub culture in LA, incomparable, two different things. So then we broke down what made those places good, what made it interesting. We discussed our own behaviors around drinking and the parts and the rituals that we love about drinking. We talked about the visceral feeling of a drink, which I always think is very interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
And then Roman, you talked about trying to find ways to spin drinking that could be interesting. Drinking
a role for it.
Yeah, creativity. Drinking as a more fulfilling life. Drinking as good decisions.
This is a crazy episode.
All sorts of other things I felt really interesting as well.
When you said drinking as a more fulfilling life, I'm like, what have we done?
What? Yeah, exactly.
And then we started talking about even things like, what could we steal from running culture? What could we steal from other cultures? And how could we do things on that could help inform where we go with drinking? We talked about the problems with modern drinking advertising right now, right? The idea of you need to earn it, the idea of prestige, and all those sort of things. Is there anything I missed?
No phones bars.
No phones bars.
Which is the best tactical idea we had.
Exactly. So Jesse, I'll ask you first. Did we crack it?
No, but I am thirsty and I'm really disappointed you didn't bring beverages. But that was an insane topic.
Roman, did we crack it?
No, I don't think we cracked it.
No.
It's I think I leave with like my mind is racing on tactics more than bigger strategy on this one. Like no phones bars and like what other things, like how do you get people who don't want to drink to a place where they can drink that breaks their perception of it just being and you know what, we not being able to have a proper conversation.
Something interesting, we didn't talk about the barrier to entry of drinking. Like how like you kind of don't like drinking at first and it takes a few times of drinking to start liking it.
That's also crazy.
And we never talked about that. You know what I mean? Just when you said that, it just made me think of that whole side of
that
things.
That is interesting. Yeah, I mean, that impacts a lot. Okay, anyway, I don't think we cracked it.
I don't think we cracked it either. But I thought it was a fun challenge. And I think it does show kind of like how wide and how crazy you can go when you really think about a problem like this. And frankly, how narrow the conversation around it has been. Which is kind of always an interesting thing to go through.
Missed opportunity though to say we didn't crack it, but you can go crack a cold one.
Oh, you just did it.
I know.
You did it for me. There you go.
Oh, Jess, I'm so happy you did a dad joke today.
Hopefully it made you thirsty.
I get accused of dad jokes every day, and now
there
Jesse
you go.
with the dad joke.
I'm in the dad chair. So
thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time on another episode of Crack It an Hour. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Crack It in an Hour. If you like the show, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you have questions, thoughts, or feedback, shoot us an email at hello@crackitpodcast.com or on Instagram @crackitpodcast. Music done by Michael Anastasi, cover art shot by Mick Mint, and all things audio and video taken care of by Nathan Nash. See you next time.